Hello, we are going to look at Wind Up the Apple Tree. This is a song to help introduce the new note, which before I tell you what it is, let's see if we can figure it out. So this note right here, is it a line note or a space note? It's a line note. So now we need to figure out what line it's on. So give me a thumbs up, fingers out. We always read from the bottom to the top. We know that this line note right here is on, here's our bottom line, 1 and 2. So this is going to be on our second line. So when we say our poem, really pay attention to what we're saying right there. Ready, go. E, G, B, D, F. These are the lines of the treble clef. Show me the spaces. Start on the bottom. F, A, C, E. It's as easy as can be. Well, hopefully you were paying attention and you realized that that second line is a G. So the way we play the G on the recorder, make sure you've got your recorder, we are going to take our thumb, goes on the back, make sure you have your left hand on top. So I'm being your mirror right now. So your left hand should be on this side of the screen. That's the hand that's going to go on top. To play the G, our newest note, we're going to cover the top hole. And we're going to cover the second hole. So this would be our A, which is our pretty new note. Now you're going to take that ring finger and you're going to cover the third hole. This is G. We're covering up those 3 holes on the front and our thumb on the back. I'm going to play this. Make sure you're sitting up really tall. This is what it sounds like. So I'd like you to make sure you can play that note. So cover up those top 3 holes and your thumb hole. Make sure that you are playing the same pitch that I'm playing. Did you get it? So if you're having a hard time, it might be because you're not covering the holes all the way. Even if a finger is just barely off one of those holes, you might not get the right pitch. It might be squeaky. It might not sound good. So make sure you're really covering those holes up and that you've got finger warts where those holes should be covered on your fingers. Another thing that might be the problem is if you're using really cold, fast air, that's going to make it really hard for the note to sound good. So check your breath, check your fingering, make sure you've got it. And if you can play that note really well and you've got it, then we are ready for our song. So I'm going to go ahead and, we're already on pink. So this first note that we're going to start on is a space note, and it is on our third space. So 1, 2, 3. It's on our third space. So what note is that? Spaces spell face. F, A, C. We are going to start on C. So get your recorders. You're going to put your thumb on the back hole. Middle finger goes on the second hole. So make sure you are leaving that top hole open. You're not covering it on the first note. Now, before we go any further, we should really figure out what the rhythm of this piece is. So get your recorders. We're going to tap the rhythm in our hands while we say our tas and tatis. We do have a couple half notes. We have 2 half notes. I'm going to circle those to make sure that we don't forget them. And when we get to those half notes, I would like you to show me the long ta in your hand and show me how long it is. So start from the beginning, right here. I'll count you off, and then you're going to tap in your hand and say tas and tatis. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, tati, tati, ta. Now, I wasn't saying it with you for most of that because I want to make sure that you know it. So I'm going to say it this time with tas and tatis. Make sure that you got it right. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, ta, ti, ta, ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, ti, ta, ti, ta, ta, ti, ta, ti, ta. Did you get the rhythm right? I hope so. Now, another thing that we could do is we could say the words in the rhythm. So if you want that extra challenge, you can go ahead and try that. Oops, I'm going to erase my half note circles just because you should know when we get to those that you need to hold them out longer. Now, there is one other thing that I need to point out, and that is something called a slur. We have 3 slurs in this song, and it is something that we have not encountered before. So I'm going to color these slurs red to make sure that you can see them. And a slur means that instead of using our tonguing, which we've been using, do, we've been using do-ish to stop the air between every note. When we get to these slurs, if you want an added challenge, you don't do the do-ish. So I'm just gonna show you what the slurs sound like right here. So I'm gonna start right here and I'll go through right here. So here's my C. I'm gonna play it one more time. See if you can hear how I'm not stopping the air between these two notes and I'm not stopping the air between these two notes. I am stopping it between these two because these two notes are not connected by a slur. So listen again. So it just adds a little bit of a different flavor. So we can work on that a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it while we're learning the notes. But if you want that added challenge, try it with the slurs. All right, let's go to the beginning of this piece. We're gonna start on the C. We know the rhythm. The rhythm is pretty easy, right? Just tas and tatis and then a couple half notes, long tas. So we're gonna start on our C. Let's just look at these first two measures. These are all the notes that we know now in the first two measures. So we've got to make sure we know them. Go ahead and put your recorder in practice position with your C. That's the note that we're going to be starting on. Let's just read it in the rhythm with the note names. So start on the C. Here we go. C, C, D, C, A, G. Try that again, just with the note names. Ready, go. C, C, D, C, A, G. I'm going to play it. See if you can play it with me. Ready, go. How did you do? If you need to stop it and practice those first two measures, go ahead and do it. That's the beauty of these videos. Let's look at this measure right here, measure 3 and 4. These two measures are actually really easy because there are only 3 notes and those 3 notes are all the same. It's just a C. So get your C. Let's see if we can go right into it. We won't even practice this part because it just stays on C. Ready, go. Make sure you hold that half note for 2 full beats. Now let's go to the beginning. Let's see if we can play those first 4 measures. We can try it in practice position first, starting on the C. 1, 2, ready, go. C, C, D, C, A, G, C, C, C. Play it. 1, 2, ready, go. If you need to stop and practice getting those first 4 bars, go ahead. Make sure you've got them. It's really a lot better if you can practice it in tiny chunks instead of looking at the whole song. All right, now we're gonna come right here. Let's see if we find any patterns in this piece. This measure right here, let's go ahead and color this green. This measure right here is the same. It's exactly the same as this measure. So if we know this, if we can figure this one out, we will know this next one, right? They're exactly the same. The other one I want you to notice is right here, this measure is exactly the same as this measure. So if we've got that, then we're if we can learn these green measures, we already know the blue one. And we know this because it's the same, it's just a C on a half note. So we really just need to worry about that green measure. So I'm gonna erase our green measure, or I'm gonna erase these colors that I just put on. And let's go ahead and look at that green measure. Okay, and I'm gonna even take care of our slurs. We'll look at those in a second. All right, so we're gonna start on our C. We're starting right here. I'll put an arrow so that you can see it. All right, so show me your C. Let's just go in practice position. So this is gonna be C, 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 D. Oh, it's mostly C's, so it's actually not that hard. C, 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 D. And your thumb just comes up on the D. Go ahead and try to play it. Ready, go. Now I added the slur. See if you can add the slur. So when we get to these notes right here, you're not going to add the tonguing between the two. You're just going to blow, not stop the air. 1, 2, ready, go. Don't stop the air. Now we've already looked at this one, so let's go ahead and look at it again. So we start on the C, C, A, G, but this time let's try it with the slur. So here we go. Ready? Try it. How did you do? And we already know this one because it is exactly the same as this. So let's look at this right here. C, 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 D, C. And then we end with a half note. So starting right here. 1, 2, ready, go. Now we're ready to take it from that blue arrow. So I'm going to erase my red arrow. We're going to start right here and see if we can get to the end. So get your high C ready. 1, 2, ready, go. I'm going to highlight those slurs again just so you can pay attention to them and see if you can play these last 4 measures with those added slurs. 1, 2, ready, go. Now we're ready to go to the beginning. So I'm going to erase this blue arrow. So from the top, 1, 2, C, ready, go. Remember, you can stop it and practice any of those sections that you need to look at. I'm going to go ahead and sing the song so you can hear what it sounds like with the words, and maybe see if you can figure out why this particular song has those slurs. So when I get to those spots where it has a slur, see if you can figure out why it's written that way. Here we go. Let me get my note. Wind up the apple tree, hold on tight, wind it all day and wind it all night. Did you figure out why we have these slurs? So the reason is because the second note in all of these slurs, there's not a new word. So wind it all, it's the same word. If it was wind it every, see how that would need a little break? But since we're just moving our voice and we're staying on the same word, it's more smooth. So that's why we needed those slurs. All right, go ahead and practice this. When you've got it, then post a video of yourself playing it on Seesaw.